Hi, I'm Robin from 4Art Club, aiming to take the frustration out of learning Blender 4.3. I hoped navigation selection and transformation could be one video, with all the things I wish I had known about navigation. I found I had so many great tips to share. This video just had to be longer than I originally planned. At least you will not be struggling for the sake of a backslash or confused by similar looking menus. My first video was viewport settings, making Blender easier to follow using light mode and larger resolution. My aim is to give you a quick outline on navigation. By the end of this video, you should have the knowledge I did not have. My aim is to help you get around the Blender viewport, then hopefully you will have a better understanding of what you are looking at and the many good videos already out there. I watched the Blender Basics videos, lots of clear, informed tutorials, so why was I confused? Let's look at the first steps to getting started. I'm using a MacBook Pro with a M1 chip. Navigating the viewport. So I opened up Blender and I followed along with the tutorial, and then I realized what was wrong, especially with the navigation tutorial. At no point was it made clear that navigation only applies to the viewport. It should be obvious. You are navigating the viewport and not the objects, but it only gets worse. Like everybody else, you start playing with Blender and stray from the path. In some cases, it does not matter. After all, is not navigation global, a function working the same everywhere in Blender? Many functions, most functions are the same. I'm not sure it's true of all. So I can easily see the orientation of the selected object. I like to use Suzanne. Remember, it's the viewport you are navigating, not the objects. Not that there isn't a place for cubes, but in object mode, press shortcut X and click delete. Then, in object mode menu, add mesh monkey, or shortcut Shift A and go mesh monkey. So now when you start navigating, you will know which way is up and down, front, back, left, right. A brief explanation of how navigation works. Others have done a far better job than I could possibly hope to do. You will eventually set on a system that works best for yourself. But I do have a few pointers, especially if you are using a MacBook like I am. Zooming, orbiting, and panning. Zooming with a 3-button mouse with a scroll wheel, scroll up and down to zoom in and out of the viewport view. Zooming smoothly with Command middle mouse button, hold down Command and the middle mouse button and drag the mouse up and down to zoom in and out of the viewport view smoothly. This is a technique known as dollying. Orbiting, hold down the middle mouse button and move the mouse around to orbit the viewport view. Pan with Shift and middle mouse button, hold down Shift and the middle mouse button and move the mouse to pan around the viewport view. The MacBook Precision Touchpad. The MacBook Precision Touchpad can be touched and not work as expected. I've had unexpected menus appear just to confuse me. It's probably because I'm not as nimble as I used to be. Orbiting with a 2-finger drag 2 fingers to orbit around the viewport view, or pan by holding down Shift and a 2-finger drag to pan around the view. This might need more than one try to make the action work. Touching with 2 fingers can open random menus. Zooming with a pinch in and out to zoom in and out of the viewport view. To resize the whole screen, hold down Control and a 2-finger drag. This works on all MacBook screens. To return to normal size, just drag down as far as it will go. Do not think you have changed the screen's resolution. The Apple Magic Mouse. I use an Apple Magic Mouse, my preferred method, which is great, but it took me a while to realise how it works in Blender. When stroking the mouse, do not click, just gently stroke. Left and centre clicks, select, right click, opens the object drop-down menu. To orbit, stroke the mouse to orbit around the viewport view. Zooming smoothly by holding down Command and stroke the mouse up and down, smoothly zooming in and out of the view. This technique, as I say, is known as dollying. Pan by holding down Shift and stroke the mouse to pan around the viewport view. Between my Logitech gaming mouse and my Apple Magic Mouse, the Apple Magic Mouse wins hands down. In Blender, it's the difference between laying bricks and conducting an orchestra. In the video editing software I use, DaVinci Resolve, the Logitech middle mouse wheel is a must for manipulating the viewports. Gotchas. I have had times in edit mode when both my mice appear to stop zooming and panning. Go back into object mode and click on the viewport to deselect and try again. If this fails, save your work and restart Blender. If anybody knows what's going on here, please let me know. If you want to have a look at 2D Blender, then be aware the Apple Magic Mouse might have some issues constantly interacting with the camera. That said, using a pen tablet makes more sense for 2D. Peripherals. A 3-button mouse with a scroll wheel makes life easier, as does a Bluetooth numpad. Keyboard numbers and numpad numbers are not the same thing. Who'd have guessed? As are full stops keyboard and points or period keys keypad, later referred to as numpad dot. I should explain, I am old and English, and so periods are something that young women have, or is a description of time. I do have periods when my memory works just fine. Full stop. If you're not already aware, I suffer from dementia. Hey, everything has an upside. This means that I keep making the same mistakes newbies make. You're thinking, how can that possibly be good? Well, the things that are obvious to an expert that are never mentioned are the same things that are going to catch out some newbies when they are getting started. Deal breakers. I have previously said that I try not to constantly point out gotchas in my tutorials, and that's still the aim. Check out my notes. But for some people, gotchas can be deal breakers. If you cannot see what's going on or how the basics work, then you are never going to get to do the fun stuff. This graph shows you the proportion of people who needed to see the fun side of Blender before they gave up. Source, Blender Conference 2024. So I'm retired. I've got lots of time to try and work out what the experts are trying to impart, and I can point you in the direction of good information. My notes are full of links to the tutorials I've watched, and there were times when I nearly gave up, but I'm sure if I can make sense of Blender, then you can. View menus. In Object and Edit modes, click on View. There are lots of options in the drop-down menus, and they appear to be the same in both Object and Edit modes. Let's plan the viewport so the selected object is to one side in Edit mode. Then use the shortcut keys to find the model. So, what's your model? Go to View, Align View, Center Cursor, and Frame All, which is shortcut key Shift-C. This seems to work best in both the Object and Edit mode to center unselected objects. As with all such shortcuts, your mouse cursor needs to be over the viewport screen. Having the mouse pointer over menus and panels stops these shortcuts working. Shortcut numpad dot seems to work best in object mode to center selected objects. Shortcut numpad dot seems to work best in edit mode to center selected or parts of objects. Isolate an object. The shortcut / will isolate a selected object. This works in both object and edit mode. Press / again to come out of isolation. Remember, it's the viewport you are navigating, not the objects. The menu lists shortcut numpad /, but it works the same with keyboard /. Hide feature. Don't confuse isolate with hide. Features that can be found under edit mode, mesh menu, show hide. This only goes to prove that looking through the menus is a good way to find useful tools. That said, view local view, toggle local view, numpad / is a handy way to isolate an object. But the option below, remove from local view, doesn't seem to work. Menu search. The F3 key can be used for finding features you know exist. Type in hide and you will see the feature and its path, edit mode, mesh menu, show hide. But type in isolate and you will be none the wiser. Even in the Blender manual, when you know what you are looking for, which is toggle local view, the response is not clear at all. In YouTube, try Blender Isolate Object shortcut, which is fine if you know that something exists, and then don't fall foul of Google confusing isolate with hide. Honest, I'm not trying to put you off. Once you've decided which technique suits you and your equipment, it's only a matter of practice and everything becomes second nature. I just have this super ability to make things fail. Now the pie menu and preferences, the tilde key confusion. For instance, if the tilde key does not work as a shortcut on your Mac, it may be because Mac uses the grave accent. It's the same button above Control, just do not use the Shift key. If the wrong menu appears, go to Edit, Preferences, Key Map, 3D View, grave accent / tilde action, and change from Gizmos to navigate. Avoid checking the tab for pie menu if you want to carry on using tab to switch between object and edit mode. Viewpoint shortcuts works in both Objects and Edit mode. Check out the View tab, Viewpoint and shortcuts. Numpad 0, Camera. Numpad 7, Top. Command Numpad 7, Bottom. Numpad 1, Front. Command Numpad 1, Back. Numpad 3, Right. Command Numpad 3, Left. See how Suzanne makes all the difference. View tab Navigation works in both Object and Edit mode. Check out the View tab Navigation and shortcuts. Numpad 4, Orbit Left. Numpad 6, Orbit Right. Numpad 8, Orbit Up. Numpad 2, Orbit Down. Numpad 9, Orbit Opposite. Shift Numpad 4, Roll Left. Shift Numpad 6, Roll Right. Command Numpad 4, Pan Left. Command Numpad 6, Pan Right. Command Numpad 8, Pan Up. Command Numpad 2, Pan Down. Zoom plus, Zoom in, Zoom minus, Zoom out. Shift B Zoom Region. The Zoom Region tool allows you to specify a rectangular region and zoom in that the region fills a 3D viewport. At this point, you are probably convinced you are manipulating the object. Try shortcut Command 8 and watch the object go up when you pan down, or down when you pan up, and shortcut Command Numpad 2 and watch the object go up when you pan down. Gizmos. I occasionally use the gizmos if I forget the shortcut key to make the viewport face in the direction I want. Click on Y for the front view and the gizmo will show -Y. Think of it as a weather vane, where -Y equals west and Y equals east. So if your point in the vane closest to you is -Y west, then you are facing Y east, which is what was selected. The difference is obvious when you are looking at Suzanne, the monkey. Not so much if you were looking at a cube. If you decide that the viewport gizmos are redundant because you prefer using the shortcut keys, then the drop down to the right of the bow and arrow icon gives you the visibility control of the viewport gizmos. Google Docs. My notes are free to you on request, are shared in Google Docs. Check out my Patreon for updated edits, new additions and highlights. Blender is a superb piece of 3D open source software for 2 and 3D modeling. I started making these videos to help slow down my dementia. I needed videos that are clearer and memorable, so I could get the most out of Blender. I want to share things I wish I'd known when I started out. This is doubly true of the next in the series, Selection. Whereas navigation is about the viewport, selection is about the objects. Selection is to be the next video in the series, and then transformation. Time to start having fun. Thanks for watching. Apparently, liking, subscribing, and sharing are things that you can do to help me get the message out there. And there's plenty to look forward to. So give me a thumbs up. And if I've made sense, subscribe to join me and my friend Suzanne on a voyage of discovery. Help draw the map and write the story. My thanks for your help, and to all the contributors whose shoulders I've climbed on. We all need that spark of inspiration. Liking, subscribing and sharing this video is a simple act of kindness. To offer support, go to my Patreon page and check out how to help. Thanks for watching. Stay well, feed your mind, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Hey, I've just finished editing my third video, and like a true artist, all I can see are the faults. Some of them are definitely down to my condition. Then I thought, hey, what a great idea for a competition. A bit like Spot the Ball. Apparently they still do that. I googled it. Apparently it's gambling. Not that that's a problem, because I'm not wealthy enough to give prizes away. Can give you a shout out on my community page though. And then I thought, there's silly. Where's my community page? Heard of these things? No idea. Apparently, if you click on the @ for Art Club at the end of the comment, or in the bit above where it says for Art Club, you go to my YouTube page. And in my YouTube page, there's a link to the community area. It'd be great to hear from you. So don't be shy. Let me know how many boo-boos that I've made, or how many you've spotted and where they are. You know what the old saying is, the person that never made any mistakes, never made anything. So, there you go.